Thank you. Yeah, challenging week for us. The last 7, 8 days, of course, 3 games in those 7 days came up short. We've been in 4 straight games of one possession and with 2 minutes to go, and have just come away with one of them. And that's where we've got to find different ways to execute better down the stretch, especially in the Wichita State game. They had 52 paint points. Last 8 possessions of the game, we don't score enough to counter them. And those are the things that we're keenly taking a look at, working on in practice, finding ways to just fight those margins, the difference between being good and great. Do want to, as we look forward to this week, of course, with this media availability, to welcome anybody that's listening, our alumni, on next Sunday on the 22nd. Absolutely love having our former players back here. There's such rich tradition going back long, long time, and love to have all them back with their families.
The 14 turnovers from the last game kind of stood out. How are you guys looking to clean up the clean up for the next game?
Yeah, the 14 against UAB you're talking about. Yeah, and that was a lower possession game. They changed up defenses a lot. That was over 20% of our possessions, and it's just hard to win that way. We didn't shoot the basketball well. It created a lot of additional pressure, if you will, or additional just angst when you're not getting shots. You can't rebound turnovers either. So we've got to be much more protective of the basketball. I'm careful to say cautious. We don't want to be back on our heels, but we've got to have a great understanding that basketball is so important.
There's so few games left. What are you telling your guys as you kind of inch towards March?
Well, February is a fascinating month if you look across all of college basketball. There's so many wild games, and teams have their mini runs at different times. And we've got so much to play for. Our league is wild. If you look at the standings and the results of the games, it's so unpredictable. But we've got so much in front of us that is within our control. And that's what we got to focus on, are the things that we can control, the things that we need to just get a little bit better at. A couple possessions in both directions, we're feeling differently. But we've got so much. I have great belief in this team. We've got to tighten up some things and play better basketball.
Coach, speaking of wild, yesterday all the road teams win in the league. It's a crazy league, and you on the bus ride home, you're thinking, we might be in fourth or whatever when Sunday is over. You find yourself in second. I mean, it's just nuts, isn't it?
That's what I was alluding to. It's just the wildest league, and so much of it is the road performance. I don't know if I've ever experienced that before, where you have teams that are just playing so much better on the road than they do at home. But then it's also inconsistent. There's so much parity, there's so much balance. Every game is challenging, and you've got to be ready each and every night. And what you've done in the past has no direct correlation to your next game. And so you just got to be ready for everything.
You mentioned good team, great team. It was almost like that down the backstretch against Wichita State. Good shot, great shot. And is that kind of what you're looking at in those final possessions?
Yeah, we're trying to help our team with there's shot quality sometimes isn't just focused on that one possession. It's taking a look at what's happened the 3 or 4 possessions before and creating even more urgency to get a great shot. And I thought us not getting paint to great, and some of it was Wichita State, give them credit. But I thought we were a little bit quick on some shots. We weren't getting the ball inside. We're not getting to the free throw line as much, and that's got to be fixed. But we've got to keep finding great shots as teams continue to change up their defenses.
Speaking of that, it looked like Wichita, with their big, was just sloughing off of your big at the high post, which used to allow you to some alleys to the basket. Now they're kind of sloughing off and allowing your big to stand there with the ball at the free throw line. A lot of times it was Tyler Barron. So I mean, it's just a readjustment for you guys then, based on what they've done.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a number of different defenses, especially the second time around when we've played a team, just to give us a different look. And it was something that we prepared for. We haven't seen very often. Of course, Wichita State's got great size in the interior, great shot blocking, just space eaters. And they were very physical with Barnstable and Ade, even David Green with some of their cuts, and then really trying to play 2-on-2 basketball in the middle of the floor with their drop coverage. So we've got to be able to address it. There were still plenty of other plays to be made to win that game, but we've got to find ways to get better shots.
There's got to be a frustration with the physicality that some teams bring your team, because your team is so free-flowing. How do you kind of fight through that when there are going to be games where they don't blow the whistle as much as other games? So how do you fight through that?
Yeah, we got to control what we can control, and it was a physical game in both directions. Of course, I thought that type of game benefited their size on the interior, the way they got to the free throw line. But we've got to continue to fight and find other ways to combat that. Can't just stick around the perimeter and hoist. We've got to be able to find ways to apply force on the basket, shift them more, and then convert. And I know we're going to look back, or we've already looked back, we'll present it to the team today, that there were opportunities that we just didn't convert on. And then I thought we got a little bit anxious and trigger happy and kind of let them off the hook by playing a very, very short possession.
And then finally, defensively, that's obviously a concern. I think they were 17 of 24 in the second half, something a lot more than what you would like. So, I mean, that's obviously a concern and something you need to address, huh?
Yeah, we need to get stronger as the game goes on. And we've had a lot of first halves where our defense has actually been pretty strong. We've not been able to keep it throughout. They scored 1.44 in the second half. It's just too much. They had 52 paint points in the entire game. Now, our game plan was to make Giles work. Yeah, he took 27 shots, scored 31 points, but he got too many easy ones right at the rim. If it was all jump shots, then you tip your hat to him. If they're all contested, mid-range jump shots especially. But he got to the basket too many times, and we got to fix that.
Last back-to-back, or last time you get to play a team a second time in the regular season on Wednesday against Charlotte, when you have a little bit of time between like the first game and the second game, is that easier or is it harder than, if you play like Wichita was kind of like back-to-back and just a really short time span versus, having like a month or month and a half between those games?
I think each game is a little different. It all depends on their personnel, if it's changed or not. We're, of course, going to watch our first game and just see the things that went well, the things that they hurt us on. And then you take a real look at what are they doing most recently. Charlotte's playing more zone. They're doing some tempo pressing. Each team evolves. That feels like a long time ago, that game. We were I think that was game 4 of conference play. So teams have changed, they've adjusted, and I know they have too. So it's different. Wichita State, I think there was 13 days in between. It felt so fresh. But still, there's enough time to make adjustments and change. So we're going to take all the information that's in front of us. But when there's a long period of time, we're going to spend a lot of time looking at the previous 5 games and what they're doing.